I'm here with Buddy. This is Buddy. He is a unknown aged Jack Russell Terrier rescue. And in this video, I'm going to go over some tips that you can use on how to get your dog to come to you. Now, first of all, we need to come up with the cue. What is the word that means to come to me? A lot of us do 10 versions of this. Come here, over here boy, dog's name, dog's nickname. That's a lot of words for the dog to understand. So, or to learn. And we speak to dogs as if they speak English, but if you don't speak English, all the vocabulary is what you drown in. So if you want your dog to come to you, pick one word. And if you've been saying come, and your dog, you have to say it 100 times, you might change the word to hear because the dog is practiced ignoring the words of something called learned irrelevance. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you kind of two essential ways. Actually, I'll do three for you guys, since these guardians are such nice folks. So basically, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use the first technique is kind of a warm-up technique that we do in puppy class, and it's really going to be a way of introducing the cue. So what is the word you guys use? Come or here?
Come.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to also use his marker word, which we just established about an hour ago, is the word nice. So what I'm going to do. Come. Nice. Come. Nice. Come. Nice. Come. Nice. Come. Nice. So I'm saying the cue before the action, and I'm pretty sure he's going to come. If you have to say the cue multiple times, that would be I would just lure the dog. I'll show you like this. So I would go like this. Nice. I didn't say come, I made a positive, what we call a positive interrupter, the kissing sound. That got his attention. When he looked at me, I lowered my hand. That brought him over to me. I said nice when he got to me, and I gave him a treat. So this is a way of introducing the word. So let's say we want to change it from come to here. I would just go here, nice, here, nice, here, nice. So that's a way to establish the word, and this is a good warm-up. Even if he already knows the word, if I just walk around and just say, come, nice. Right there, come, nice. So I'm just basically syncing the two things together. Coming to me means you're coming to get a good treat. I say the word nice when he gets to me to communicate. All right, so that's the first way of doing it. The third way we're going to do as a group, and I was going to make it the second, but we'll make it the third so I can explain this way. This is what I call the automatic way to get a dog to come to us. A lot of times, the only time that we call our dog in from outside is with the end of fun. So the dog's out here yelling, there's a rabbit over there, and he's been giving that rabbit the business, telling him what he needs to know. And then we're worried the neighbors are going to hear it because it's the spring and we have our windows open. So we call Buddy inside. And so Buddy's like, I was having a great time. You said come, I listened to you, and then you close the door and the fun is over. Next time I'm not listening to you because I had a better time yelling at the squirrel. So one of the things I'd recommend you do is celebrating is what we call that. So I guess I'm going to give you 4 different ways. The first one is what I just showed you. The second one is when you're in the house and the dog comes to you, nice. I'm giving you a treat, but you could also just, every time he comes to you, say nice and pet him. You didn't ask him to come to you, but it's still coming to you. And you're still rewarding the action. And actually, in this case, it's a lot of times better because he made the decision, not me. I'm just rewarding him for doing it what he thinks he did on his own. And so that's a good habit to get inside. Use the word celebrate. So if he walks up to me and I missed it, one of his guardians says celebrate, I would just say nice, and reach down and pet him or give him a treat. All right, so that's the second way. It's just rewarding every time your dog comes to you when you didn't call it inside or even outside. The third way that we do it is the automatic recall. So for dogs, the temperature of the food is more important than the taste of the food. The smell is the most important thing. Nice. Well, you're jumping up, so I shouldn't reward it for that. So basically what I would have you do is let him out here, and this is not a huge yard, but it's a nice yard from run laps. So let him come out here and get all his sniffs in, and then basically have a piece of warm chicken. Grab the warm chicken, walk out here and walk about in the middle of the yard and don't say anything. Don't show him you have it. When he comes to you, say nice, give him the chicken, and then walk back inside. And then wait for him to stop being at the door, then grab another piece of warm chicken, walk out. Let's say the first time this is 20 paces, so now I stop at 19 paces. And I wait when he comes to me, nice. Try to say nice and give him the chicken before he gets to you so he's not dancing on you like he is now. Otherwise, this becomes a practice behavior as well. So you won't make it 10 visits before when you open the door, he's just coming to you because you're the bringer of chicken. Why would I not come to you? Good things happen, and then I get to go and play afterwards. Eventually you'll get to the point where you'll have him coming all the way to the door. You open the door, he comes to the door, give him the chicken and let him go back out. And the next time you go open the door, he comes to the door, throw the piece of chicken right inside the door. He comes in and then let him go back out. So by the time you actually are going to call him in and close the door, you've done this 3 or 4 times, and eventually you open the door, you throw a piece here and then you throw a couple pieces over there, then you close the door. So then he goes out and so it doesn't mean that every time you call me it's going to be the end of fun. And again, I'm not calling him at that point, I'm just appearing, but every time I appear and he comes to me, he gets chicken. So he makes, or whatever the thing is that he likes. Temperature, like I said, warm food is helpful. So that's the third way, and I call it an automatic recall, because you won't just open the door and he'll just come over to you expecting to get that chicken. All right, the third way we're going to do this is I'm going to have the guardians, I'm going to call them over here in a second, and we're going to be on camera in a triangular shape. You want at least 3 people or more. Now when we do this, I like to hold my hand with a 90-degree bend like this, with my palm facing the sky or the ceiling, with a treat in the middle of my palm of my hand. If you watch him, wait, so the lower you go, the more it's for the dog. And I can put him in a sit by raising him when he gets to the place I want over his head to get him to sit. So before you call the dog, if I call the dog looks up and I'm going like this when he looks up, it doesn't look like I'm ready for him. But if I call the dog and he looks at me and I'm going like this, he's like, wow, David is looking at me and he's got something in his hand. And as soon as he looks at me, I start lowering my hand. When he gets to where I want, I raise it over his head and say nice, and then I give him the treat. Then I point and the next person calls him. So only one person's going to call him at a time. And that person, before they call him, they're going to have their hand out, and they're going to say, come is the word for him. And as soon as he turns and looks at them, they're going to start lowering their hand. That's going to cause him to go to them. And you can raise it over his head to make him sit once he's done this a while. He already knows how to come and to sit, so we're going a little bit more advanced. If your dog is trepidatious, as soon as it comes to you, just say nice and give him the treat. Your marker word comes when the dog does the action or at the completion of the action. Like if he's pottying, and I want to use a marker word for pottying, he starts to pee, I would wait until he completes peeing, then say the marker word, and then give him a treat. So when you're doing this, I like to have everybody about 7 feet apart. I usually start this inside, but since we're doing the other ones, I've decided to do them all at once. And then basically, you want to do this with each person, maybe about 15 or 20, not for each person, but about 15, 20 calls. We're not going to do all those on this shot. But at first, we're only 7 feet apart. And once he starts getting a bounce in his step and he's running the next person with glee, then we take a couple steps back and we make the triangle a little bit bigger, or whatever the shape it is. You can do it more than 3 people, just at least. If you only have 2, they just bounce back and forth and they're not coming on demand. They're just coming to the next person. Now, if he comes to me and I say come, he comes to me, I say my marker word, I say nice and give him the treat. And then his guardian calls him and he's like, but David's got the treats. I'm not leaving because I know he's got more treats. I'm going to cross my arms across my chest, look up at the sky, close my eyes so I don't get rain in it, and I'm going to become boring. Then the other person who called him first is going to call him again. We don't want to call him multiple times, but if he looks up at me, he's like, Dave, this is not the pose that David's in when he gives me treats, and that person seems to be in a pose that they have treats, I'm going to go to that person. So then the dog learns going to the person who calls you is rewardable. So I'm going to have the guardians come over here, and I'm going to give them each a couple of treats, and we're just going to practice this. We're going to make a little bit of a triangle. There we go. Good catch. So yeah, this is about the perfect distance. So maybe come a little bit over here so we're all on camera. So I'll have you go first. So hold your hand out flat, and one more step. There you go. Even distance. So, and say C-O-M-E.
Come.
And lower it as soon as he looks at you.
Come.
One more time.
Bud, come. Nice.
Now a couple things. He said Bud a couple times, but he also said nice. And then when he looked at Bud, he didn't lower it. So watch this. Put your arms across your chest. Come. See how I got him to come? Because I lowered my hand as soon as he looked at me. So now he came to him, so he's not going to do it. So you go ahead and hold your hand out, and you're already up here. So keep it at 90 degrees. Say come.
Come.
And lower it.
Nice.
Go ahead and hold your hand out.
Come.
And lower it. There you go. Now I'm gonna put him in a sit when he comes to me. Come. Come. Nice.
Come.
See, he looked to see who's got the treat. Because she had her hand out, he is having to come to her. Raise it over. There you go. Go ahead and call him again.
Come. Nice.
And then if you want to put him in a sit, watch my hand movement. Come. Come. Nice. Now he's a bit of a dancer. He likes to jump up on his guardians. They need to not pet him inside for that, so that's why he's doing it. So go ahead and call him because it came to Christian. You call him.
Come.
Right, so there. Keep your hand open as you go over his head. And it might take a little bit of practice. If you have difficulty like that, just give him the treat for coming at first and work on it inside. So I'll show you one more time. Come. So I'm closing my hand if I need to, but then I'm opening it and then letting him have it. And as soon as he's finally sitting, I'm going to say nice and then release the treat. So there you go. Go ahead and hold another one.
Come. Nice.
So now that we've done this a little bit, we're going to take a couple, everybody takes 2 steps backwards. We just made the triangle bigger. Come. Nice. Whoops. I didn't get it. It was stuck to my hand. Go ahead and call him again.
Come.
Come. Nice.
There you go. You can also do it like this. Come. Sit. Nice. So I prefer not to say sit that second time because I'm essentially adding a second cue in there. I would rather use the lure. There's nothing wrong with doing that a couple times. And if you do this enough, after a while, he'll come and sit in front of you. Then you say nice and give him a treat. Go ahead and call him. Well, Christian, go ahead and call him again.
Come. Nice.
There you go. So eventually I'd like you to get to the point where you're on opposite sides. So when you have guests, have your guests come over. This is a fun game for him to do. And eventually you're on all the 4 corners of the yard. He's coming and running and finding you because coming to you means I'm going to get a reward. Come. Nice. This is my buddy, Buddy. And these are 4 different ways you can condition your dog to come to you on command.